right, you guys know what time it is. We are not live, but you are in the place to be. This is the Locker Room Show, you guys. So if you're in here for the first time, welcome. We got an amazing show lined up for you guys. This is our last show before the new year. So if you're rocking with us for the first time, thanks for joining us. If you've been down with us all year, this is it, baby. And thank you for bringing us through the finish line. We got a great show for you tonight. So first and foremost, I am going to introduce my co-host. This is the brother that holds me down every single week in the locker room. This is somebody that knows his stuff, and it is none other than Q, the guru. What's going on, Playboy?
What's going on, Coach? How you feeling this week, man?
Oh, man, we got another great show. We
You
got the
always got
holidays.
one, man.
I know, man. And the kids is asking me. They in my pockets, man.
They gonna stay in your pocket. They live in your pocket, man. Of course, boy.
You got that
It's
right.
all the way up to the ceiling, man. I know how that
There
is.
you go.
I get it.
So it's the holiday, man, and we got some great things to cover, you guys. If you're joining us for the first time, the Locker Room Show is where we bring in guests who have done it, not just people talking about it, people who have lived it. And we got another one lined up for you tonight. Now, this gentleman has done a lot as a player with a helmet on, but now he's got some special things that he's doing off the field that we want to tell you guys about as well. And that is none other than the Wisconsin Badger great, Brandon Williams. How's it going, brother?
Man, it's going good. Excited to be on the show, man. Ready to chop it up, see what's going on in the world of high school, college, pro. It don't matter the league. We just about to chop it up. Let's go.
There you go. So you guys see the hat that this gentleman has on, and that is because he has newly been named the VP of, I want to get it all right, so I'm going to look over at my notes, Team Business and Event Operations. Team Business and Event Operations. He's on the front office side, you guys, making things happen. You guys don't know, a lot goes on off the field, too, to make the whole show go. So we're going to get into that, and newly appointed Battle Hawks front office person. So, B, thank you for joining us. Let's get into the topics, you guys. This one is great timing because all of us play big time college football, and today actually happens to mark the first day that young men can sign to decide where they want to go and play college. Now, back in our day, it was pretty much for sure you were going to be at that school for 4 or 5 years, but nowadays with the transfer portal, you never know. So this is their first stop, and young men were putting pen to paper today, you guys. So I got these two gentlemen with me, and I'll throw it to you, B. Give us a little nostalgia. Just take us back to you signing with the Wisconsin Badgers. Do you have any special memories from that time? What was it about Wisconsin that made you choose the Badgers?
Man, that's a good question. The special memory I have, quite honestly, is that me and I'm going to say 7 or 8 of my high school teammates, we all had the opportunity to go up to the library and sign on National Signing Day all together, with news coverage and all those different things. And we all lined up and we did our thing. And it was various Big 10, Big 12 schools, D1 AA schools as well. And so that was really the exciting moment. Got our picture in the paper. Nowadays that's it. You know what I mean? Right. So, but that was really a cool experience, for me. And I really picked Wisconsin because it was a legacy of players that came before me that went to the University of Wisconsin, not only from the St. Louis area, but from my school, from Hazelwood East. Spartans stand up and represent. And so we had a long legacy of Wisconsin players that had success, not just went up there and with some guys, but guys who had success. And I was excited to continue that legacy with current Spartans that were on the Wisconsin football team at the time. And so I was going up there to play with my friends.
That's big right there. And that is for a lot of you young players, that is the memory. It's just signing with your friends and having that experience with the family. Q, talk to me. I mean, obviously, you decided to go to Kansas. When you think back to that big moment, was there one thing that kind of stood out?
I mean, at the time, man, I was excited because um, it was I knew I was going, to a top 10 ranked team. And it's the same thing Brandon said, we had guys, from Hazelwood East that had gone up to, University of Kansas, Ronnie Ward, Mike Allen, a lot of other guys, from St. Louis, legendary Isaac Bird, Dorian Brew. All these guys went to the league, every one of them. So it was like, again, you had an opportunity to go up there and ball. At the time, arguably, the Big 12 was fairly new conference, but I mean, if not other than maybe the Big 10 at the time, the absolute best, most competitive conference in America. So I mean, it was, and again, we, same thing, being able to sign with so many, especially in my senior year, in 95, and we had every bit of 10 guys, signing that day. It was awesome, man. Awesome. Never
That's
forget.
big. That's big.
For
And
sure.
obviously, a lot of talent coming out the St. Louis area, especially even still today. So great memories, and congratulations to all you young superstars that are pen to paper, whether it's right now, today, later this weekend, or during the regular signing period. Congratulations to you guys and your families. That's a family win right there. We are on, you guys, to our next topic. And I'm glad to have you on, B, for this topic because it's about early playing time. Early playing time. You got a chance to hit the field right away at Wisconsin. And I don't know if you felt like that propelled you to becoming, an all Big Ten performer and having the NFL shot, but you got a chance to hit the field right away. Freshman, All-American, freshman Big Ten. Talk to me a little bit for these young players listening. When they're evaluating which college to go to, should playing early be a key factor?
If you're ready.
Okay.
If you're ready. And that's not just a feeling. Are you physically ready, mentally ready, emotionally ready for the ups and downs of a college football season? Are you ready physically for the taxing that you're about to take? It's not high school ball anymore. It's expectations that you show up for practice, show up for weightlifting, that your grades are on par, and then you have expectations to produce and perform during the week. You look at a lot of people will say, "Hey, man, let's play early. Let's get that film out there. Let's get these NFL scouts looking at me." But all film ain't good film. And so, to my point, if you're ready.
That's a great point right there. And everybody feels like they're ready, but like you heard Brandon say, it's a lot more to it. Some of you guys come from some vanilla offenses and defenses in high school. You might not be ready yet. Q, talk to me. I mean, you played, I believe, as a redshirt freshman. When you stepped on the field, did you feel ready?
Oh, absolutely. I remember first game, freshman year, and I got two real quick against Baylor. But see, what Brandon's leaving out is we, even as pups still in high school, it was all the guys that were in the league that went to Hazelwood East that were coming back that we were training with in the off season. So 9 times out of 10, especially our school, if you look at, the modern days in the St. John Bosco's and whatnot, and the IMGs, we were no different. That's why these kids are ready, because you have to look at who they're training with in the off season. These guys are already D1 starters, and they already in the league. So when you're ready, because you're already training against elite talent that's already where you want to go.
So it's similar to the Ohio State kids being ready at wide receiver in the NFL.
Absolutely.
And I want to add something to that. Because to Q's point, a lot of times your talent will say that you're ready. Okay. But one of the things that I would say is I wish I would have had a redshirt year. I literally really wish I would have redshirted. I came into college 5'9.5", 157, 61 pounds. if I would have had 1 year to redshirt and then not actually play till I was a buck 70, 75, who knows the numbers? I had a good freshman year, but it was a very bumpy road that freshman year because the speed of the game, the physicality, being I was thrown in the fire and literally having to play at 18 years old, having to check blitzes. You got dudes coming off double A gap blitz, too often. Yeah. If two
Power
coming,
five.
You got the hot, and I'm just standing out there like I got a slant. And so if you get that red shirt year in there, now you've been in the spring ball, you've been in the fall camp where it's not a lot of pressure on you. You can really hone in on your body. I wish I'd have had the opportunity to hone in on my body, because the reality is once I got to the league, ain't no red shirt year in the league. And my body, even I was not, I was 22. You guys know men don't mature completely to 24, 25. And we really start to be able to hold weight and be mature. And you're playing against grown men, And so for me, in my personal experience, I wish I could have had another year to really get ready for that physical side of the game.
Yeah.
No, that's great feedback right there. And you young players out there listening, don't feel bad just because you're not on the field right away. We had a wide receiver that I work with that's at Colorado. He made scout player of the year. That's great. That's a win. You don't have to be on the field. He's got another year to develop. So you guys keep that in mind, what Brandon is saying. On to our next topic, and you guys are two great people to have on this topic, because recently the top 25 end of the year rankings came out, and obviously it's some of the usual suspects, your St. John Bosco's, your Mater Days, you got your St. Thomas Aquinas. You guys went to public school, but I know a lot of private schools have switched some things up, not just in St. Louis, but across the country, fellas. Q, talk to me. If things were today, how big is that high school decision for a kid that's in 8th grade, knows he wants to go play Power 5? If you're a dog, will they find you anywhere still? Or is that a high school decision even bigger?
I mean, no, the game has changed so much now. I mean, you have to make an executive decision, and whether it's St. Louis or other cities, for the most part, like the IMGs of St. John Bosco's, man. I mean, the private schools, if you're a top talent, that's pretty much where you're gonna end up, because they're gonna come recruit you anyway. So it's almost like parents, you already know if you have a dog in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, you need to really start getting prepared of the recruiting process going into high school, because these private schools are coming to get your son anyway. So, you really need to prepare yourself for that. But it's just right now, you do have, the Duncanvilles and North Shores or whatnot, so there's schools out there that are still prominent that are public, but private schools are just taking over, man. It's money behind them. It's boosters behind them. Parents, you got to learn the NIL situation, because it's right there in your face. By the time they hit the campus freshman year in high school, you got to get ready.
Good point. Brandon, I mean, you right there in St. Louis. Would you do East Hazelwood again, or would you switch it up?
That's a very intricate question, because the dog in me want to be a Spartan, right? But it's socioeconomic decisions that I have to make as a middle class African American in this country. Is it a school out there that really speaks to the experience educationally and sports wise that my child can really excel and succeed at? And honestly, that's just a really hard decision to make, because on one hand, you want to send your child to a specific school that's a public school, but then you got to live in that area, and that may not be the area I want to live in. And then on the other hand, you have these private schools that cost a nice ticket. It costs some good money to go there. And now I have to make sure I'm getting the ROI on what I'm spending. It's my son better, my daughter better be going Ivy League, Big Ten. They
Right.
better be getting a scholarship if I didn't spent all this money, right? So
Right.
it's a gift and a curse, right? And so you really have to figure out what's best for my kid. What kind of child have I raised? And all your children are not the same. Some of them may excel in certain environments, and some of them won't. But I think that what has really changed is this AAU mentality in football now. These kids is doing 7-on-7s. They doing camps. They doing one-on-one camps.
Man.
Like, this stuff is insane. And on one hand, it's like, man, I feel like you don't have time to really prepare for actual football. And then on the other hand, college coaches are watching this stuff. College coaches are seeing who's on the 7-on-7 circuit. Like, that's crazy for me to even say that, but it's a real thing. And to Q's point, a lot of the talented kids are doing these 7-on-7 teams now. So if you put your child on that, your son, for example, on that team, he's going to get exposure to the kids that's going to the modern days, the Boscos, the IMGs, and he's able to compete or play with them and gain from that exposure. So it's really a case by case situation. Either I would love to have my kids be Spartans, man, but do I want to live in Q? Understand? Do I want to live in North County? Heck no, I don't want to live in North County. Not right now.
Not now,
so
right.
You gotta figure it out.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And some of you guys are dealing with this dilemma. But if you're a parent of a young kid and you know the kid's got some talent and they've got these aspirations, then at least do your due diligence. Look at who's come out that high school recently, whether it's a private or public school, because your kid's going to probably have the same options. So check that out, you guys, and good feedback right there. We're on to our next topic, you guys, and this is a big one, obviously, because the nature of our sport. And we're going to talk about, obviously, probably the most notable person that's not on the team right now, and that's Odell Beckham. And you guys know he had the big injury in the Super Bowl and is trying to come back. So I want to talk to you guys because it's looking like he's having some setbacks. And I'll throw it to you first, Brandon. What's some tips? I don't know your injury history from when you were playing, but obviously there's kids going through this. There's somebody's going to get hurt in the bowl game and try to come back. Somebody's going to get hurt on Sunday and try to come back next year. What would you say is maybe two, three things that are prevalent or influential in someone coming back the right way?
I would say number one, don't rush it. Take your time. Okay. I had a broken tib where I got a rod in my leg, and I probably rushed my rehab, not because I didn't have the ability to make the cuts and the runs, but I didn't strengthen the muscles back enough, right? And so you get to a situation where one leg ain't as strong as the other leg, and it causes back issues. It causes other issues within the body structure. And so you want to make sure you don't rush back from an injury. Make sure you strengthen whatever that muscle is around the joints, the tendons, whatever that situation might be, right? And make sure you're being disciplined in your rehab. So, take your time and be disciplined in your rehab. Don't do anything that's going to cause you to have a major setback and just be silly for no reason, man. So take it serious, because the faster you get back out there, the faster you'll get back to dominating and doing your thing.
No, that's great advice right there. I mean, Q, I don't know what was your most significant injury, but talk to me about the pressure, maybe the pressure to keep somebody off your back on the depth chart, or maybe the pressure from your DC or your cornerback coach. How does somebody manage that?
A couple separated shows. So no, I definitely can relate, but I can agree with what Brandon said for sure. It's taking your time and not being where you're not listening to your physical therapist. It's a team of people that are there to help you. And a lot of times, we just have this thing being, especially with football, is like we're indestructible, and it's like people forget, as far as injuries, a lot of times it gets to be more mental even than physical. And you
Okay.
know, so even sometimes, you know, and that's where, you know, physical therapy, and I always recommend kids get a sports psychologist, because that's going to be needed. Odell probably is working with some now, because it's you know, you being able to know that when I step back out on the field, I'm gonna be what I was prior or better, you know, and not be worried about coming in and out your breaks or coming in and out, or worried about that
Do
contact.
you think that's realistic for Odell to be just as good or better?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the reason why, especially with the, you know, with the ability of doctors now, well, look at AP. I mean, that was what, 8-9 years ago, 10 years ago. He comes back and gets 2,000 yards. So absolutely. Brent B, you know what it is. You go down to Dr. Andrews and listen, you're gonna be all right.
Well,
You know what I'm
y'all
saying?
gotta remember, Odell already came back from an ACL.
He did.
And he was great.
He was.
He was great. So I don't see any reason why, like I said, if he takes his time and does everything he can from a rehab standpoint, make sure he doesn't rush it, strengthen the muscles that need to be strengthened. It's like, this dude is in pristine shape, man. Like he is a very, look, he is at the upper echelon of gifted athlete. So I don't have any doubt that he could come back. And at this point in his career, you're not asking him to be a number one receiver and have 80 catches and 1,500 yards. You're asking him to come in, be a 2-2-8 and catch 40, 45, be ready for the playoffs, be a matchup problem. And so he's in a unique situation where he don't have to have all the pressure to come back fast and be the guy.
That's true.
Great point. Great point right there. So you young players listening, be careful. Don't rush back, because you're going to set yourself back a whole nother year. So take it from these gentlemen right here. We're on to our next topic, and we appreciate B. Will joining us. Obviously, this man's got a lot on his plate, the holidays, and he's a primetime member of the Battle Hawks. So appreciate your time, man. We are talking about the XFL being back. The XFL was around when we were playing Q, and now it's back. And obviously B. Will is in the game. And, you know, it looks strong. And it looks like even right here, they're talking about collaborations with the NFL. They've got high-powered lawyers. NBC Sports lawyer is a legal business analyst for the XFL. So talk to me, Brandon. Why do you think the XFL is going to be bigger and better this time around? And what made you say this is the route for me to go?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I think one of the major things for this XFL league, this iteration of the XFL, is the partnership they have with Disney. So, you know, when you get Disney, you get ESPN, you get ABC. And I think that's one of the big pieces from a broadcast standpoint. And we're talking an ESPN Disney partnership that's a 5-year deal. So obviously ESPN is vested, Disney is vested in the success of the XFL. That speaks volumes to what you know, the equity in the league is going to look like, where other companies, sponsorship, where the dollars are going to flow. TV is where the dollars is flowing. Streaming and all that stuff is cool. But when it comes to sports, TV, ESPN still the top dog, and they still handling business, right? That's number one. I think whenever you have dynamic ownership like Danny Garcia, we don't talk enough about her as a woman in sports. She's the first female to be part owner of a league ever in history. Like it's never happened. Right. So she's dynamic in her own right. She holds her own weight in these conversations and in these partnerships. And then you have DJ Dwayne Johnson, who is the most followed man in the world. And everybody wants a piece of him. And so the dynamic piece of those two coming together with their brain power of branding and being able to push things out. Because a lot of people may not know that Danny and DJ have partnered. She was his manager when he was a wrestler. They've been knowing each other since they was 18 years old. Oh, wow. She was his manager when he was a wrestler. She has partnered with him on almost every business venture, from the tequila to Zoa, the energy drink, and a lot of his movies. She has been part of it because she's part of the production company. So they have been major players and a powerful force together for some time. They've been winning. You bring in Jerry Cardinal, who is a beast when it comes to sports properties. His Cardinal Redbird Capital owns a lot of own minority stake in a lot of major sports franchises globally. So he understands the business of sports. And they have done a good job of integrating dynamic coaches that are former players, making sure that they're in a space in a spring football position to not compete with the NFL. Say we want to partner with the NFL, and the NFL to up to now has been very receptive to those partnerships and saying, hey, this is how things can look, this is how things could go. And I think that bodes well for us as a league now. Like let's not forget, hey, we're sorry for Vince McMahon and what happened in the last iteration because COVID completely destroyed the league. But the metrics from TV ratings, ticket sales, revenue were all trending up. Okay. And so I'm excited to be a part of it because I'm excited to be in a position where I could be on the business side of football. And it's no other league came to me and said they want to be on the business side. This was the first league that actually came to me. And so I assessed the opportunity. It was alignment for purpose for me. And I'm excited to be a part of the XFL, excited to be, look, like, let's be honest. I could have never written a script to where the end of the script or a part of the script says you're going to be the president of the freaking professional football team in St. Louis. I never, you know what I mean? Like that just was not a part of the script. And I'm living a dream right now and putting in the work, man. And it's really exciting to be a guy who can be a pillar, somebody that can be looked up to as not only an athlete, commentator, but now on the business side and have that aspiration and be an inspiration to so many people.
Man, that's huge. And obviously, there's a young man in St. Louis that might see this or might check you out with the Battle Hawks and have a whole new idea of where he could take his life. So huge kudos, man, and props for what you've done and what you will do with the Battle Hawks for sure. So we are on to our next round, you guys, and that is the lightning round. And for those that are joining us the first time, the lightning round is where it goes down. This is where our version of word association. So we've got Brandon Williams with us, once again, a VP with the Battle Hawks, and he's going to tell us, y'all, the first thing on his mind when I ask him a few questions. Now, this man was fast back in his day, so I'm expecting this to be a fast 2-minute drill for him, but we're going to see how he does. Now, I know how you guys do it coming out the Lou, East St. Louis, so we're going to keep it PG-13, PG for me on this one. We ain't going to go to the block, but 60 seconds. You ready, big dog?
I'm ready. I'm ready, man.
I think I got some good. So, okay. The number's 13. We got a couple people tied at 13. We give you one for tech delay. So if you hit 12, then you're in the mix. Now, if you hit 13, then you won flat out. So let me get my stopwatch ready. And
here we go.
Here we go. Stopwatch at. Give me a new phone. So let me find out where this stopwatch at. Okay, there we go. Stopwatches on zeros because I've been accused of cheating in the past. Now we got Brandon with us.
Boy, that list getting long, T. That list getting long.
I got people coming after me, B. So I don't want no Battle Hawk D lineman banging on my door. Now, if you get 13 or more, then it's going to be a dinner on us. Dinner and hotel on me and Q for the locker room. So let me get my stopwatch ready, and we won't start it until the first one. So, number 1, Hazelwood East. Go.
Terrell Fletcher.
Barry Alvarez.
Rose Bowl.
Drake or Meek Mill.
Drake.
Top Ramen or Hot Pocket.
Dang. gotta go with the Top Ramen, man. Dang.
Tyreek Hill.
Ooh, Cheetah, Kansas City Chiefs.
Dustin Jefferson or Jamar Chase? 33 seconds.
Ooh. I'm gonna go JJ. I'm gonna go Justin Jefferson.
Best DB you ever played against?
Dang. Antonio Cromartie.
He got game or blue chips? 50 seconds.
He got game.
Jonathan Taylor or Ron Dane?
Dang.
He killing.
I'm going Brown, man. Oh man,
I knew that one did it. I knew that one. I was like, oh, he killing him.
I figured that one. I figured that one was gonna be a tough one. Did you give us someone?
Oh my goodness!
I said Ronnie. I say
okay.
Ronnie. It's Ronnie.
Okay.
It's Ronnie.
Go with the Heisman. Go with the Heisman. I know that was a tough one. So let's add them up. Add them up. I gave you some tough ones, so that one was tough. So we got Hazelwood East 1. We got he said Terrell Fletcher, Barry Alvarez 2, Drake 3. Got the Ramen. Tyree Hill 5, Best DB, Cromartie 6, got Jefferson 7. He got game 8, and then we'll give him the Ron Dane. So you got 9 and you got 10 with the tech delay. A couple stops. He got stopped, ladies and gentlemen, on the Ramen and Hot Pocket, and then a couple of good ones.
Yeah,
so let's revisit.
Tonight.
We always revisit. You went with the he got game, so okay, I feel you on that. And then you said you're gonna go with the Drake over the Meek Mill, huh?
Oh man, Drake destroyed Meek Mill in the head-to-head, so it's like, come on, man. Meek
and
Mill,
then
get out of here.
He will the JJ over the Chase.
I really just like. I think JJ is a little bit more dynamic. I know Chase a little tougher, like play a little bit more physical, but Justin's a little bit more dynamic route runner to me.
Okay. And one we didn't get to. Are you going with the French toast or the pancakes?
Wow, I'm a waffle guy. I'm a
Hey,
waffle guy.
Okay,
I don't know neither one of them. I'm a waffle guy.
Go with the waffle.
Crunchy waffle, man.
Oh man.
Crunchy waffle. Hey,
All
so
these
there
uppercuts. Lord.
There we go, and we are on to our next one, you guys, and we appreciate the time, man. This is definitely fun. But audience Q&A, obviously, we're not live. It's the holidays, y'all. We squeezing this one in, bring you guys some content before we get out for the holidays. But I got a Q&A for you, and Q, obviously, you know this man from way back, so something comes to your mind, let me know. But talk to me about the switch. Because obviously there's a demeanor that you go into a locker room with as a player, and then there's a demeanor that you walk into as a front office exec. Is that something that comes natural to you, or is that something that you had to learn? Any tips for someone that might want to do what you're doing?
That's a good question. I think that's still a work in progress, right? Because you're always a player at the end of the day. You always have that mentality of, you want to get stuff done. It's results. Discipline always wins the day for you. And so you kind of take some of those mantras that you have as a player and you take it into the professional world, in the business world, and now in the front office, you kind of have this, this mindset of you need to execute, be disciplined, and show results. But I think the one difference is just your purview, your perspective has changed. Now I look at things from a 30,000-foot view as opposed to the granular. I'm a player. I got to focus what I can control and really hone in on what's going to help me win day to day. As an executive, I'm thinking longer. I'm thinking 30, 60, 90. I'm thinking first season. I'm thinking all these different things, setting up my staff for success. How can we partner with the community? All those different things. And I'm looking at it from a very high level of what are the pillars and what do we want to be known for, right? And so you can't do everything. So you have to figure out what are the things that you can execute on in the short term and then plant some seeds for the long term.
That's big right there. Is there, I'm assuming mentoring or asking questions of people in similar positions is probably huge too, huh?
Most definitely. I mean, I have a vast network, but it's some very specific people that I lean on, ask questions. And the league itself, the XFL league has our league office has a lot of veterans in the sports world that we have access to, that I can talk to, that we can lean on just from an everyday basis. Even my counterparts in other cities that run other teams, they are sports veterans, sports marketing veterans, and sports industry veterans as well. And so I can lean on them and ask questions of them and talk to them as well.
Fabulous. Send us off, Q. Give me a B. Will story, a high school, college. What's a B. Will memory of this magnificent person we got?
I do have one story. So, man, I guess, man, where we're from, and especially our school, again, just cranking out so many unbelievable athletes, man, for decades. But I will say this. B. Will, in high school, I guess, that I had an opportunity to see, had one of the best catches I've probably seen on a high school level. And they were that catch at Jackson. And I was just talking to Dwayne the other day. And actually, our friend Dwayne Buchanan, actually, he was Tennessee State starting quarterback, actually owns a business down here. So he was a quarterback. He from Hazelwood East too. So one of the best catches that I've seen. Like, it'll force you to look at that in slow-mo, like, man, okay, now, man, for a kid to be that young to make a catch like that, to have that type of body control, man, definitely, I always, man, for real. Like,
you know what he's talking about, Big?
I do. I remember that catch big time. I remember it was, I think it was like a third down. And, it's funny that Dwayne was the person that you were talking to because that old lollipop pass that he threw made it very difficult. All right. And so, no, what happened, it was a safety that came. It was like I had a go route. I beat the guy. It was actually two guys, not the corner and the safety. Yeah, they both came and converged at the same time. And, like, honestly, the safety had the ball in his hand.
Yeah.
And I literally was on his back. Took it out of his hand with one hand. And if it was not for the linebacker on their team that was hustling, he was hustling. And this kid was number 9. I don't know. This kid he was a really good player. He was really big. I had to block him the whole game. I remember this kid. And he was the reason why that would have been a 98-yard touchdown pass in the playoffs.
Easy.
It was 98 yards. We were at the 2-yard line. If this guy was not hustling, I would have had a 98-yard touchdown pass in the playoff game.
For sure.
And so I don't know how I got that ball. I just literally was like, oh, he don't want this. Let me get that. And I'm out.
Hey, T, I'll show it to you, man. But unbelievable catch.
Oh, you got some footage?
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, see, back home, for whatever reason, like my father's house, that's like the library. All the great, like all Hazelwood that's the vault. So got all the games.
Every team got one cat that got the vault.
That's the house. We got the vault downstairs for sure, man. But yeah, that's a B. Will story I had to tell for sure.
All right, man. Well, obviously, I saw a lot of the big catches in the Big Ten, man. So blessings having you on. I know that we had to wheel and deal and get some clearance, y'all, to get B. Will on. So we made it happen, and hopefully you guys enjoy this great content and these great stories that this gentleman has shared with us. And much success. Some of you guys might be trying to try out for the Battle Hawks one day. So you better get to know this, man. B, thank you for your time, man.
I appreciate you guys, man, and big ups to everything that you're doing. You guys been consistent, man, and so I really appreciate your time, your talents, your time, and your gifts, man. Continue success.
No doubt, appreciate
you guys have it, man. So hey, Brandon Williams, St. Louis finest, and now he's with the pro organization, the Battle Hawks. So hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's show, and we will see you after the holidays. All right, man. We out, brother. Thank you so much.
We appreciate you, baby, for sure.
No, I appreciate you guys, man. Like, this is a good deal right here, man. I like this platform y'all got too, man. It's like I said, I told Q, I was like, man, I rocked with Coach a while ago, man. We knew each other so long, we forgot we knew each other. That's how crazy it is.
Yeah, he came and rocked it when we was all audio, man. So
Yo,
always love you, and we repping Battle Hawks in the locker room. We
no doubt. Yeah, but I'll definitely be home for a game, bro, for sure.
Come on through, man. It's gonna be
no
fun.
Doubt.
We gonna be rocking.
I know it.
All right, man. Happy holidays, brother.
All right, B. I'll talk to you soon, Holmes.